thank you all very much for joining us here this evening. This is a very important event as we move to the final couple weeks of the primary. I'd like to congratulate my fellow candidates. We've crossed paths all over the state, from Window Rock to Yuma to Tucson to here, and I'm sure we're going to cross paths a few more times. It's been a very invigorating campaign, and we've exchanged a lot of good, vigorous debate. Why should you vote for me in this primary coming up? I mean, that's really the only question that's before you that is of great importance. And the reason you should vote for me is I'm the only one that can beat John McCain. I'll cut right to the chase. And the reason why I'm the only one that can beat John McCain is I've already taken it to John McCain. I know John McCain inside out. It was in 1989. That was my work as an investigative journalist at the Dayton Daily News that triggered the Keating 5 scandal, landed John McCain as one of the 5 United States senators in the biggest Senate Ethics Committee hearing in the history of the United States. That's something John McCain will never forget. He's mentioned that numerous times in his books. But so what? So what? That's 21 years ago. But the lessons that John McCain failed to learn in 1989 are still dogging him today. What he failed to do in 1989 was represent you, the American people, instead of his good buddy Charlie Keating and other special interest groups. And that same pattern has permeated his governance for the last 28 years. In 2007, 2008, he had an opportunity to do the right thing, which was to protect the American taxpayers from the overblown banking crisis that was clearly emerging on Wall Street, and he refused to do that. He refused to do that despite a tremendous amount of evidence to the contrary. And the reason why he refused to do that was 4 or 5 of his largest contributors were Wall Street banks. Wall Street banks. That's why he stood aside to allow the financial catastrophe to unfold. Well, John McCain was just one person I focused on over the last 25 years as a journalist. I've also was at the bleeding edge of the coverage on Governor Fife Symington. And I think you all remember Fife was a Republican governor that was totally corrupt. And it was my work at the New Times that laid out the scandal years before he was finally indicted, convicted, and forced to resign in September of 1997. I also played a leading role in the coverage of Joe Arpaio years ago, before anybody thought that Joe Arpaio could possibly be a bad guy. It was my work back in '99 that showed he would use his office to entrap a young man for a publicity stunt. It was my work in 2004 that shows he had financial holdings hidden in real estate in Fountain Hills. It was my work after that that showed, even before that, the extensive human rights abuses that go on in the Maricopa County Jail. These are important issues because I have a long history of serving you, the public, and your interest. As a journalist, I always worked in the public interest. I'm not aligned with any special interest. All I am aligned at is finding corruption, representing you as best I can in the United States Senate. As a senator, I will be very, very aggressive. This isn't going to be some sort of operation where you wait for the lobbyists to hand you the bill and then you pick up your check after dinner. That's how it's been going on for too long. If you want to elect a politician, I'm not the guy. If you want to elect a citizen who's hard-boiled, who knows where the bodies lie, who's willing to fight, who's willing to present the information to you, I am the guy. If you want somebody who will know how to come up with solutions, who will use his position at the United States Senate to bring in the smartest people in the world to find and forge solutions that we need, I'm your guy. If you want somebody who's going to lead Arizona into the future, the 21st century, as a leader in renewable energy technology, the leader in consumption, distribution, manufacturing, I am the person who will do that. To me, the most fundamental thing that this country is facing is an economic crisis. And the economic crisis is deep and entrenched. We can't do Band-Aids, we can't do short-term fixes. We have to do a long, permanent restructuring. And the fundamental way to do that is going to be moving this nation into 100% renewable energy-based economy. We have the technology with us right now to do that. What we lack is the political will. I have the will and I have the determination to help move this nation forward, and I ask you for your vote between now and August 24th. If you have any questions, you can go to my website, which is johndougherty2010.com. You can email me, and I'm sure you're going to fire some great questions out here tonight. I congratulate each and every one of you for being here, because you are part of what makes America great, the citizen involvement. And again, I'm a citizen who is standing here before you. This is what we need to do to push this country forward. And one more point. I want Democrats to quit cowering in the corner and acting like we're going to get the living daylights beat out of us in November. We won the 2008 election and we're going to defend it this year in 2010. Thank you very much.
Next up is Cathy Eden.
Well, should I get her something?
Cathy Eden.
It's very good to see you all. Arizona's in trouble. And you know what I find the most fascinating, being in this campaign and talking, is that Republicans and Democrats seem to say the same thing. They say, this is the crisis year, this is the year we have to do something. The Republicans are causing this problem. We are in a very serious problem right now. This state is at a crossroads, and which way are we going to go? We have to make this decision this year, in the next couple of weeks. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then I want to tell you what I want to do and why I deserve or request your vote. Because I was born and raised in this state, and I have worked for 4 governors, both Republican and Democrat. I have run large state agencies. I was a county manager. I have been a professor in both the community college and at the university, and I was in healthcare. I started my career in healthcare, and then it followed me all through the rest of my career in both the public and private sector. I have been a leader, and I want to be a leader again. Is that the issues that are important to me is that the economy, jobs, we need to be moving that, and I think that is directly connected also with immigration, is why that we're being mean. We have to do very specific things on jobs, energy independence, to end the war, and to bring our troops back home. Those are very important to me. We have to decide on jobs. Let me tell you a little bit about this. I think we need to have an incentive. We need to get the economy moving again. We need to have, for people that need to be hired that have been unemployed. We need to, and when you talk about jobs, let me talk about this particular job, is that if we had oil sitting under us, we would be talking about how we put people to work to get that oil out, right? Well, we have sunshine sitting in this state 360 days of the year. We need to become the leader in solar energy and to be the leader in the United States to make sure that we're energy independent. If we're not, if we don't do it and we don't do it quickly, Houston, Texas is going to be using our desert to get that energy, and it's going to be their jobs, their technology, their people doing it. It's obvious to me that is happening already in Houston, to tell you the truth. And so if Arizona doesn't come forward and say we want to be the leader, and we have had the scientists at the U of A and ASU doing marvelous work getting us ready, and it is not near the water that you had used before, the Science Foundation, so there's no reason why why Arizona should be the leader, and then we can become energy independent and not want to be in the Middle East ever again. So, the things I want, so I hope you'll see, is that I have my roots in this state. Born and raised. My father was on the Corporation Commission in 1944. So I know what it means to be part of this state, and I have seen this state work. I have seen when Republicans and Democrats can work together, and that I've seen a congressional delegation that knows when you send them to Washington that the most important thing they need to do is to take care of us, is to have Arizona's back, not leave us so that our legislature thinks they need to handle immigration reform and does not leave us vulnerable and understands what it means that you don't use words like earmarks and say that we don't know the difference between what the scientist needs, what our infrastructure needs, and what a bridge to nowhere. So, we've had a senator for 28 years. What are we going to get on the 29th year? No difference. So you get to decide tonight which of the 4 of us can go up against either John McCain or J.D. Hayward, we don't know for sure, is that which one of us can go and take them on. I have been a proven leader. I can do it again. So I request you to take a good look at me, and And I know everybody's going to be telling your websites tonight. So the website is EdenForArizona.com. So if you need to have further information on me or you need to get hold of me, and I'm excited to hear your questions. Thank you.
Thank you,